In this video, I'm going to walk you through the process of getting your real estate license and tell you, as a young professional, why you should become a real estate agent. So if you're interested in becoming a real estate agent and want to learn my tips and my tricks that got me through the pre-licensing course and passing the state exam on the first try, stay tuned. Welcome, my name is Kayla Coley and I am your newest real estate professional here in the Birmingham metropolitan area. And the first thing I want to get into with you guys is why real estate as a 23-year-old. Well, to be honest, it was not my first option. I do have an associate's degree in business, but respectfully discontinued my education when I realized that the people who were trying to teach me how to run a successful business didn't have a business themselves, let alone a successful one.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
So I respectfully discontinued my education and was faced with two options. I could either take up a management position somewhere and make about $60,000 to $80,000 a year, or I could get into real estate. And obviously I chose the latter. So why real estate? My top 3 reasons why I chose real estate was, first and foremost, it is an extremely lucrative business to be in. There is no cap on the amount of money that you can make. And that is very appealing to somebody who, like yourself, because you're watching this video, wants to be successful and achieve a certain level of success. 2, the second reason why I chose to go into real estate is to meet new people. Listen, I love meeting new people. I love making new connections and just creating and building lifelong relationships with people. You never know who you're going to meet truly, and that is another reason why I chose to go into real estate. And third, of course, is to be my own boss. I like making my own schedule. I like doing my own thing. I don't like having to follow somebody else's rules. So that is why I chose real estate. So if you're interested in getting into real estate and curious on how to start, first and foremost, like this video so you can always reference it and comment. Let me know, are you interested in getting into real estate? Why you're interested in getting into real estate? Like I said, I love making new connections with people and I would just love to have that conversation with you. And of course, subscribe because I will be posting all things real estate to this channel and I don't want you to miss out. All right, now let's talk how to get started. What is the first step when looking to get your real estate license? And that is you're going to have to complete a pre-licensing course. Now in Alabama, it is a 60-hour pre-licensing course and each state varies. You can do it in person or online and we'll get to that in a moment, but you have to complete the 60 hours or the hours in your state. Having completed the hours and completed and passed the pre-licensing exam, they then send that to a testing institution. Here in Alabama, we did ours through Pearson VUE. I also know that they have something called a PSI. It just depends. So once they send your completion certificate to that testing institution, they then will reach out to you and then you can schedule your state exam. So before we get into the state exam, in person versus online. Now this is totally up to you, depending on what your schedule looks like and what you have going on, but I personally highly recommend doing in person. It just is a different experience than when you're doing it online, and it's just accountability, keeping you accountable when you have a brick and mortar location to show up at and you have a physical human being in front of you, giving you real life examples and just you can ask them questions immediately. So I highly recommend in person, but if you're doing it online, that's no worries. I found many people did better when they did it online. So it's completely up to you and what your life and your schedule allows. Now I do have to, of course, give a quick shout out here in Birmingham, Alabama to my real estate school, led and owned by Mark Yarbrough. He is the bee's knees. He made the pre-licensing course extremely doable and easy, and I just have to give a really quick shout out to them. Alrighty, so the next thing I want to get into is the exam itself. So let's just all take a deep breath and exhale. It is not that hard. Listen, I feel like a lot of people hype up this exam to be some crazy, super, super duper hard exam, and I just did not think that was the case. I understand everybody is totally different when it comes to taking exams and test taking, but listen, it is not that difficult, and all you have to do is truly prepare yourself to take this exam. And I think that's what people mean when they say that this exam is difficult. They mean the preparing and the time and the effort that you actually have to put into to succeed. Who knew? You know what I mean? So that's what I feel like people are talking about when they say that the exam is hard. They're talking about having to study and having to put in the work. Now, what got me through passing the state exam and the pre-licensing exam on the first try, and it's literally in this video where those flashcards are right there. I literally committed every single vocabulary word to memory, and listen, it helps a ton. Is it a lot? Yes, but it helps so much. And I promise you, if you're watching this video and you're about to take your exam, or if you're going to take your exam in the future and you listen to what I'm saying and you end up passing your exam, you'll know, you know? Secondly, practice exams. Practice exams, practice exams, practice exams. Listen, there aren't enough practice exams out there, but taking practice exams helps tremendously because then you can prepare yourself for what the state exam and what the questions, how they might be worded, this, that, and the third. I thought that most of the practice exams that I took were extremely difficult, and it kind of did scare me a little bit. I was like, oh my goodness, if this is just the practice exams, I have no clue what's going to be on this state exam. But when I went in there, I found that the state exam was actually a lot more easier, and I was thankful for taking all those practice exams because it truly set me up to be prepared for difficult questions and know the answer to those difficult questions. And third is test taking tips. Listen, you guys, do not underestimate the power of manipulating your own brain. It is truly, truly significant when you're going into an exam, and I will make an entirely different video on test taking tips and just overall a more in-depth video on how I prepared for my state exam and passed it on the first try. But don't be scared and go in and take that exam with confidence. Lastly, what to do after you pass your state exam. Well, first and foremost, after you take your state exam, you will know right then and there if you passed or if you failed. If you failed, you will have to wait 2 days before you can reschedule and retake your state exam. If you passed, well, you're gonna literally just be smiling from ear to ear, knowing that all the hard work that you've put in has paid off, and you can move on from the endless studying. Literally, it's a sigh of relief. And now it's time to start looking for brokerages, and I will have an entirely new video on how to interview with brokerages, what to look for, and why I chose the brokerage that I'm with, and that will be in the next video. That being said, if you are a young professional interested in getting into the real estate game, let me know in the comments, like this video, and subscribe. And let's connect, because if you're watching this video, you're probably curious on how to get started and interested in getting into real estate. And I know when you're trying something new, it can be a little scary, so I would love to be there for your first steps. Again, my name is Kayla Coley, your newest real estate professional here in the Birmingham metropolitan area, and I will see you in the next video.